Alright. What's going on, y'all? I'm Zmoneytrain. It's gonna be the Star Wars The New Droid Army. It's one of those games taking place during the Attack of the Clones. So it's got some interesting ideas because it's before the Clone Wars cartoon. So it's actually a game where we kill Dooku early, a lot sooner than we're supposed to, lore-wise. But it's a pretty fun game. And yeah, I think I'm ready to get going. I'm going to start the time as soon as I hear a beep and I'm able to move. But yeah, this is Game Boy Advance game playing on a emulator. I did not know this game existed. Let's see. Alright, here we go. As a kid, I had the other Attack of the Clones game that came out during the movie. It was more of a 2D side-scroller kind of game that has several rooms and like locked encounters and stuff. This one's a lot more, the perspective is top-down and it's a lot more spread out. And you can run past pretty much all the enemies, so that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We're not going to fight a whole lot of things other than bosses that we have to. And I didn't know this game existed until Lane actually posted the main runner for this game, Black Limba. He had done a run of this before it was existing on the Speedrun.com board, so when I saw one of the tricks, I was like, yeah, I gotta play this game. So lots of cool tricks. Really only one main glitch, to be honest, where you're able to PBC, pause buffer clip through walls and doors and dialogue prompts and such. And that lets us avoid a lot of the game. The last few levels actually don't have collision out of bounds, so we can basically clip out of bounds and then walk to the end of the level triggers or into the next cutscene section. It's really a interesting game. I haven't been able to play it like casually even because it's just some of the enemies are really annoying when you're playing casually, especially on the harder difficulties. On the easy one, Padawan, we actually, get regen our health and force really fast, so that's what lets us continue to use our force abilities. Oh. That should work. Yeah, there we go. So that's the first case of a pause buffer clip trick. That was the one that made me want to play this game because it's basically the same looking animation as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That's the other game I speedrun mainly. There's a pause buffer clip in that game as well, and it's really similar to that. So, but later we'll have the jump ability, so we'll be able to clip out of bounds with that. Yeah, most of this first planet, Tatooine, is us just kind of going through. So in this section we're supposed to save farmers. So we just kind of go to each of the locations of them. And there's not really any way to skip this that we've found, so gotta go to each one, talk to them, and then continue on. But there is a map. I can show it real quick. If you double tap select, you can see how big the maps actually are. And that's useful, especially casually when you're wanting to see where you need to go next. Definitely not the game developers? Oh, okay. Yeah, some of them are just the characters from the movie. How much it saves, or how much it skips. It skips quite a bit. You'll see in later sections how we're we're basically just clipping through a wall and then walking to the end of the room section. So it's very glitchy, but Black Limbo decided to make several categories, ones that are no out of bounds and ones that are like all bosses, so it adds some variety to the game. Just choice, yeah. But yeah, sadly there's no way to skip this section. We actually did skip a big section, and most obviously by clipping through that door. We would have had to do a whole other section. And we got the last one here. You can actually jump on some of these little plateau things, but it's very difficult to get the spacing and timing right. Just with that attacking flip move animation. I just have to span through a lot of the discussions. You don't want to spam too fast because it's the same input as pulling out your saber. And for the most part, we're not going to need our saber. We're just going to use our force speed ability because it's the fastest form of movement. And I am going to talk to one of the NPCs because it's possible to skip talking to one of them, but it can soft lock your game later, so I'm going to avoid the super risky strat. We'll go for risky strats on later missions that aren't as scary to skip. It's easy to get stuck on some of the collision. It's hard to tell where exactly you can walk and not. But yeah, I was surprised that this was a Game Boy Advance game because it looks like it's like a 3D game, and the maps are really spread out and big with all these enemies and stuff. Sometimes it seems like there's too many elements on the screen, so enemies don't always spawn where they should be. Or they don't spawn at all after you pass by, they just aren't there. Yeah, this is the last little section of Tatooine, then we go into Jabba's palace, and we get captured. And then we have to make our way out. Oh, it's easy to get trapped by some of the enemies. They like to trap you in a corner sometimes. There's a little bit of RNG with the Tusken Raiders. Sometimes they'll do their yell at you, where like you saw him raise his stick up in the air, and the other ones they just immediately go for the gut stab there. And they can really get you with the hitboxes. Yeah, I do have record for this, but it's only me and one other runner, so it's definitely a beatable time. You want to try to space your force speeds when you come up to enemies, because some of them just run up to you and stop, and they try to get in your way, so trying to hit it right when they approach, you can get around them pretty easily. Alright, I think we got one more back and forth turn here, and then we're on to Jabba's palace. And Jabba's palace is where we unlock the force jump ability, and it actually will let us do a couple skips. So I'm going to try to show that off. Hopefully we get it first try. It's pretty easy to mess up if you don't time your jumps perfectly. Your jump and pauses. No, it's not 95% Tuskens. That was actually the last section that we'll see Tusken Raiders. That first mission is just really long. Now we'll actually get some more enemy variety, thankfully. Yeah, I really want to monitor my force in here because the force jump ability takes about 18 force points. So if I don't have that available when I come up to these gaps, I can easily just fall down and die. And checkpoints are a little bit brutal in this game. They're not as frequent as some other games are, but I guess Game Boy Advance games are pretty harsh on checkpoints sometimes. You have to just start over completely on levels. This one does have certain location checkpoints, thankfully. Like there is one right here, actually, that I just got. These droids are very obnoxious because they just spam shooting at you. Alright, got a couple more gaps here. Oh man, I got hit during my jump. That put me off angle. Not a big deal. We just got this checkpoint, so... Yeah, it's possible to get shot during your jump across the gap, and then you kind of will just drop, sadly. Alright. Here's the first big skip we're going to go for. I'm going to let my force build up to about 60 points, because I have to do 3 force jumps across this gap, and there's no collision out of bounds on this section. Immediately failed it. I'll try it again, and if I fail it twice, then I'll just take the normal route around. But sadly we have to go back to this checkpoint again. So it can be a little punishing if you go for that skip. And you definitely want to time it just right, or you won't get the jump off. Right after he rolls, you want to time it right after Anakin does his roll, because that's as soon as you are able to jump again. And you have to time the pauses with it so that you get more distance. Ah. Yeah, I've dropped again. I'll take the normal route, but there's more skips we can try with that tech. Probably the marathon nerves, so it's fine. I'll get to show you more of this level. Pretty cool. Uh-oh. I'm having a hard time remembering the actual casual route I'm supposed to take. Oh, there's a dead end as well. There we go. Oh yeah, it's not here either. Whoops. We gotta clip through the door here. There we go. A little bit of time lost, but not too bad. Yeah, now we just need to go to the last bit here, clip through the door, and we'll hit the cutscene trigger for the boss fight. In this game there's different attack animations, so usually the most damaging one is that overhead slashing motion. So that's just down and attack. I'm gonna try the skip again here. Yeah, I dropped too far. I'll try it one more time. It's not a super big skip, but... Damn it. I'm just a bit too late on my jump here. One more time. Okay. Normal route. But yeah, that just kind of skips going around the corner. You kind of skip the gap. Skip that little dialogue option here with Obi-Wan. There we go. Yeah, the Mooring Guards are radioactive, yeah. They could mess you up with their cleaver weapons I got. They look like cleavers in this game. Oh. Put it away. Alright, so that skipped a little dialogue and boss fight there. Dang it, I keep messing up these these skips. Luckily, the later levels have collision out of bounds actually, so we'll probably just continue on normal route for those first two skips. I will still at least be able to skip the boss. I'll just need to do the clip again. Can do one there as well for the dialogue option. Alright. Yeah, that other jump across the gap isn't too much of a time save, because we just have to go around the corner here. I've tried to find other like skips with keeping the force meter high, so I can just use force speed all the time, but I wasn't able to really find anything. Only thing I did find is if you're fast enough, you can switch to the meditation here, and you can actually activate it while you're in the staggered animation from getting hit. So that's a little optimization you can do on some levels. But yeah, some of these maps are actually quite long and stretched out, so we try to do skips whenever we can to skip corners or just get around to the end trigger. Yeah, a lot of the droids end up shooting each other because there's just so many so many blasters on the screen at one time. That's pretty funny. Alright. Almost done with the first section of Coruscant. Then we'll move on to the second bit and then the Jedi Temple. I'm going to do a little skip here around the wall. That just skips a dialogue conversation. Oh, gotta have my angle right. The perspective is kind of hard sometimes to determine which direction you're facing. But we got it there. This is a pretty long map, stretched out, so we're just going to try to avoid getting shot by some of these enemies. And timing our speed, force speed at good times. That was unavoidable. Spawns right in front of my face and then shoots me immediately. And steam. #1 enemy of Jedi's. Steam vents. Oh. Ate my jump there. I don't think the droidekas even have shields, so I've never seen them show up. Alright. Almost done with this little section here. Let's see if we can jump around here. There's another little dialogue here we can skip. Little Dax interaction there. Apparently we meet him in this game, not just Obi-Wan. Put our saber away, just immediately use force speed. Alright, this is one long straight line, so we get to go to the edge here and just walk to the end. We'll have to dodge a couple enemies, but for the most part, we can just keep going. Next, good luck, Lenino. Alright, jump over this guy. I think there's one more Rodian that sometimes likes to block our path, so we'll get our force jump ready. Alright. Right here. And now we're on to the Jedi Temple. And this is where the collision starts out of bounds, so we can immediately clip out and just walk to the end sections. Binash, what's up? Okay, I should have a good lineup here too. Yeah, there we go. Just go right here to the door, trigger the next section. And then we're gonna do the same thing to get to the next end of this section. I think it was. I didn't recognize it because later at the end of this, there's a hologram for Yoda, but I can't recall casually where that one is. Is that in that last section? But yeah, really interesting that that's just chilling out of bounds. That's probably one of the only things I've noticed out of bounds, actually. Most of the stuff is either a blank void like this, or it's like lava fields or other things, so... But yeah, now we actually have a boss fight at the end of this section, but we're going to clip inbounds after his trigger, so his AI is going to be deactivated. But we have to make sure we hit him in the right direction, because if we hit him towards the trigger, it'll basically soft lock. Almost made it. Let me through. There it is. It's a little tricky to clip in this room sometimes. Okay, here's our guy. Use meditation to get up to about 80 force, so we can just kind of spam attacks. And we're going to do our overhead hit again like that, and then he's dead. Alright. So now we're going to enter the last level, Metalorn, and we're just going to head straight to the end of each section again, because there's collision out of bounds. So all we're really doing is avoiding the lava fields, which is pretty nice. There's lots of traps and enemies in the last area, so it's really cool. You can just clip out and walk to the end of each section. Alright. And it's nice we get full force anytime we spawn in a new section. Yeah, it's very easy to accidentally walk in the wrong direction sometimes, so to make sure I avoid the lava fields, because it's basically an insta-death. He does like a weird drowning animation when he walks into it, but you die pretty much instantly. Yeah, it's pretty broken. That's why I'm glad they added more categories for just staying in bounds or just all bosses, so it'll make a little more variety to it. But this is pretty much the only category currently that has runs on it. I do want to avoid getting too close to inbounds, because there's actually a trigger that can pull you in, and it'll try to like soft lock you a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about trying certain things like that, but I haven't been able to figure anything out. I think we're right here at the enter for next hallway. Okay. Immediately clip out here. There is a soft lock you can get where if you open the map menu during a dialogue prompt, it starts glitching out the game really bad. And the menus look all glitchy, and it causes some cutscenes not to trigger. Yeah, breaking games is pretty fun. I'd say I'm more of a glitch hunter first than a speedrunner second, because I love finding new strats and optimizations for some games, ones that I don't even speedrun, but it's still fun to play and mess around with things like that. We actually just found the other game I'm going to play is Jedi Fallen Order, and it's the new route that basically lets us skip to the end of the game pretty soon. And we actually just found something similar in the new Jedi Survivor sequel that just came out, so it's it's pretty nuts. I need to go right here. There we go. Got the clip off. You want to make sure you're on jump before you walk into that trigger, so you are able to immediately jump out. Yeah, we got a couple more rooms, and then we're gonna fight Dooku. Hopefully he doesn't troll us. Some of the bosses can actually mess you up pretty good. Certain attacks are better than others at stun locking them, but the overhead slash is definitely the one you want to use for the most damage and stuff. Alright. I need him! It's not the Jedi way. We got some prequel memers in here. I like it, I like it. Do eat, yes. Alright, now we're entering the Dooku boss section, and the time's gonna end when I kill Dooku. There's a little bit of section where you like walk to the ship and stuff, but it's not really input based, so we're gonna try to do a couple of sideways hits to push him against the wall, and then some overhead slashes to get quick kills. Alright, that's time. Not too shabby. My PB is 29, so it's definitely improvable, especially because I have mistakes in that. But some of those skips, like jumping across the gaps without collision, is really difficult, so... Pretty cool game. Lots of speed running, you know, force speed running, you know, so... But it's good for a few attempts, definitely, if you want to check it out. Oh, we do have a Discord server and stuff, so if you want to check out the game, do that. But thanks for setting this up, y'all. BMAC on all you guys. This good work on, you know, setting this up every year. I've been wanting to do one, but I didn't know what game, so now that I'm more into Star Wars stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'll do some Fallen Order and this Game Boy Advance game. Thank you for the GGs, y'all. Yeah, it was an interesting decision to let Dooku get killed. They kind of went a little wild, I think, with the stories and said, have at it. But yeah, that was it. Thanks y'all for having me.